Some super thanks to begin today's Cowboys Report mailbag from Mr. Man. Hey, Tom, when was the last time the Cowboys had a very good run defense? And what worked? I haven't been this mad since the loss to the 40 Winers in 1994. So you actually were good in 2021. I will make note of that. You were solid in 2018. You were okay, basing that all on the EPA per plays. You had some rough moments in 2021 as well. But once you got Hankins in 2020 you just had a good defense overall, you had some moments there. You had other issues on defense as well. To put it in perspective, though, to really answer the question, since 2016, again, based on EPA per play, you're okay. You're about league average there. In success rate, you're 24th, which means teams don't always stick with the run because you're scoring points and having positive game scripts, but it's not great in success rate. It's been a long time since you had a truly dominant run defense, and part of that is your personnel, part of it's your coaches. Never just one thing, unfortunately. Now, we will have a lot of free agency, draft, cut candidate videos, and mailbags for you as well. I love to answer guys' questions. It's fun for me. Plus, it's honestly a little bit less work as well because I just sit up here answering questions all day. Hit that sub button for more free Cowboys YouTube videos. Cowboy 85, a super thanks here as well. With Overshown coming back next year and LVE career up in the air, should we go defense heavy in free agency and the draft? What I would like to do is fill your needs in free agency. When I mean actually fill them. Not, we signed Ronald Jones, we have no running back need anymore. No, we got to do a little bit more than that. I'm not saying break the bank for Derrick Henry and Patrick Queen, and a tackle and Chris Jones. I'm not saying that. But fill your needs and allow yourself to go pure BPA. So it could be a wide receiver. It can be an offensive lineman. It could be a corner. It could be a linebacker. It could be a safety. And I think that's an ideal path that sometimes they execute, sometimes they do not. Mark Bishop, after watching these playoff games, all of the other teams on the Cowboys' talent, but they are way better coached than Dallas. I think it's some good points here made by Mark. Players deserve blame too, to be clear. But I have always believed when it is everything, when it's not just your quarterback and not just your best receiver dropping passes and not just your ground game not existing and not just blown coverages on defense and not being able to stop the run, when it's frankly like maybe about 5 players on your team just look unprepared and outmatched against a less talented team than you, I think that is a coaching issue. Not just McCarthy, it's Quinn and everybody else as well. In hindsight, I don't think they were locked in. Micah Parsons was out there cracking jokes about maybe Dan Quinn will take me with him when he leaves. Dude, you have a playoff game. In hindsight, I should see this coming. He was not locked in. They were not. They coached scared and played scared as a result. Who do you blame more in the end for the way this year and the last 3 years have ended? C for the coaches, P for the players. They both get blamed. Who do you blame more? It's the pinned comment, so go vote right now, especially if the ad comes on YouTube. I'm going to go with Laterio Stewart. I might be pronouncing that wrong, so I'm sorry there. I would love to see Dallas in a 3-4 defense. Again, you have a setup where teams are in nickel over 60% of the time, and they've been at over 50-50 for 5 years now, if not a little bit longer. So you can do some 3-4 elements if you want your heavy defense to be 3-4. That's fine. Dan Quinn deployed 3-4 elements this year. Wasn't consistent with it, but just flipping to 3-4 isn't going to fix everything because you're still going to run mostly nickel because teams are using 3 receivers a lot. Chris B, they got to spend to get the fans back in, right? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. There's already been some whispers and buzz of this year they're gonna change their plans and spend more. Okay, I will believe it when I see it. I have to see them want to spend. I will be happy if they do, but no. Jerry knows that we're still gonna watch. I would like to see him go back and earn the trust, but it's also not Jerry, it's Steven. Steven has so much control these days. So I hope that's the case. I have my doubts. Speaking up from John, will Jerry be aggressive in free agency? Again, I would like to see it. My hopes are low because they don't like spending. It is a philosophical organizational choice. They don't want to spend in free agency. They want to win the deal. Steven wants to win every deal that they have. And that means they're not going to win bidding wars. Last time they tried was Sammy Watkins, and they lost that bidding war, and actually, thank God, because that would have been ugly in the end. What is your confidence level in the Cowboys? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Jason Renfro, how about the signing of running back Snoop Connor today? Not Scoop Corn, it's a funny name though. That is the former Ole Miss back. Actually signed a few days ago. I think it was last Wednesday, I'm pretty sure. We did break that down. He was on the Jags practice squad this year. He's not done a lot in his NFL career, former 5th-round pick. Bigger body than Dallas typically has, more stocky. Dallas likes the taller guys that are maybe 210. He's like 5'10 something, 222. He'll fight for kind of like the Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle type of role. Maybe he's RB3, but does not fix your running back issue, to be clear. Ecuador man, bigger mistake. No Matthew Bergeron or the Florida right guard in the NFL draft. In the end, I think I would lean towards Osiris Torrance not being taken as the bigger mistake. Mostly because both guys I thought played fine enough for their respective teams when they were out there. Torrance played a ton in Buffalo. Bergeron played a ton too, was up and down as well. Both guys were kind of up and down overall. I think the best case scenario right now for Luke Schoonmaker with the way this team is constructed is he's a backup tight end. He's not better than Ferguson, who's younger than him, by the way. And at least with Mize, there's the hope of him becoming a true nose guard before he can get his weight back up, which should happen. So I think the backup tight end ceiling pick in round 2 was a huge mistake. Both, I think, you would have felt a little bit better about it there, but your line was decent enough this year. Would have fixed your issues this season. So both were mistakes. The Schoonmaker one bothers me more because there's just a capped ceiling there. He's not going to be better than Ferguson. I don't ever believe that. Mozzie at least potentially could be, Now, if you want this awesome NFL Jam t-shirt, got CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, or Trevon Diggs and Micah Parsons, or maybe you want the better duo of Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. You can get yours at chatsports.com/CowboysJam. It is through Fanatics, so not through the Cowboys site, if you know what I mean there. Chatsports.com/CowboysJam. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. Robert Clay Gig asked Dak if he wants to be an OC. If he retires, save money. Sure, but Dak's not going to retire right now to go be a coordinator. He did a good job calling the plays, by the way. That was certainly fun in the preseason game. It's easier when the opposing defense is playing one coverage, by the way. But still, it was fun. It was good experience too. I do think, I think Aikman definitely a great commentator. I think Dak might be a better coach than he'd be a commentator. Dak's kind of straight line, kind of boring a little bit there. Mighty Ant 0215 signed Payne and Luvu, who's the best off-ball linebackers in free agency. Frankie Luvu is one of them. He can blitz some, but he's a good off-ball linebacker. The best name is Patrick Queen. Maybe a more affordable name is Azeez Al-Shaair of the Titans. I think you mean Daron Payne, by the way. Daron Payne is not going to go anywhere. He is under contract with the Commanders, so he got a 4-year, $90 million deal last year. So if that's the Payne you mean, there might be a different one out there. He's off the board. Tony, is Derrick Henry a Cowboy? This strikes me as the type of move Dallas would make to see, we're trying. And I'll be like, it's fun. It'd be the biggest free agency splash they've made in years. It's also an aging running back where your bigger problem this year in the ground game was not Tony Pollard. He gets blamed too. It was a bad scheme and not good enough blocking up front. With that said, it doesn't seem like an actual move that they could make. It wouldn't be that expensive. If the cost is right, I'm certainly in as well. You can't run the ball. trying at least with the new back is trying. I'll give him credit there. So I would be okay with it. If the cost is right, I'd be very happy with it. But I don't know if that really fixes all of your issues, right? It'd be a very Cowboys-ish move of you do the splashy, sexy thing to, it's a new coat of paint on the car when there's some transmission issues, So name a free agent who you want to sign. Could be Derrick Henry, could be somebody else altogether. Sound off for me in the comments. Ed Vila, did Aubrey make you love kickers again? Says Jones for Diggs. Look, kicker, he was an alien this year, had a great season. Even he was kicking the playoffs, by the way, which McCarthy kind of set him up for failure, but so be it. He was a great kicker. And this is why you let them play it out through training camp and you don't invest premium money, because this was a soccer player that they found and had success. Elmatic 7. Why is the media mad at player members for expressing their views? They would speak out as much as we do. An organizational mess. Well, I think it's because it's an organizational mess, right? And that doesn't look good. You got Micah's PR team, which, by the way, to be clear, I want to make this clear. That was Micah's PR team who sent that tweet. Some of you guys got mad at me on Twitter for saying that. You're gaslighting. I'm like, that's not gaslighting. You can just throw that word around like that's gaslighting. Which is fine, by the way. It's a good thing that happened because that's why you hire a PR team to handle things for you like that. You got Terrence out there trying to get on Skip's show or on not Skip, Shannon Sharp's show. I don't love that, but you're right too. They get to speak out as well. It's just a bad look because no one else members. That becomes a national story for the Cowboys, not so much for other teams. Chris B, sign Patrick Queen, Catboy. Fix your linebackers right away. Probably would. Ed Vila, can we get Chris Jones and picks for Trevon or 1-for-1? Oh, Chris Jones is a free agent, so you wouldn't need to trade anything there. I don't like trading away my good players to get other good players. Because yes, I'm fixing my defensive tackle hole. Now I have one at corner. Because remember, the only guy under contract beyond Diggs of note is your 6th round pick and Bland. Gilmore's a free agent too. So if you want Chris Jones, throw a bag at him. He'd probably take it. Chris B, I'd be pissed if Henry is their splash and that's it. But wouldn't it be on brand for them? Of, doing the Cowboys brand of, you got Derrick Henry, who's, been a 4.5-ish under that yard per carry back, but your offensive line has bigger concerns on that front.